Hi, I'm Lara from 5 out of 4 Patterns, and welcome to Sewing School Neckbands Part 2. In Part 1 of our neckband series, we covered the neckband for a scoop or crew neck t-shirt. And today, we're going to be talking about the V-neck neckband. So, let's not waste any time. Let's get started. All right, here we are. We've got our t-shirt. We've got the V. You can see the V here. And the first thing to remember is our seam allowance normally is 3/8 of an inch, but for the V-neck, it's going to be 1/4 of an inch. And the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to take our V, and on an inch of either side of the V, we are going to stay stitch inside of the 1/4 inch seam allowance. So not more than 1/4 inch, a little less than 1/4 inch seam allowance. And we're going to stay stitch that V in order to give us a little more stability with the V itself. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. You can see that we've got our V here just inside the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the V and we're going to snip it right at the V, not going through, being sure not to go through that stitching. So let me turn this around so it's a little bit easier for me to see. So we're just going to go right up to the stitch without going through. So we've done that, and ta-da, there we go. Okay, so what you see here is a neckband. It's not the neckband I'm going to use, but I wanted to use this as an example for you so you can see exactly what we're doing here. We have our neckband, we have it right sides together. And what we're going to do, you can see the line I've drawn. We're going to stitch a V on that line from corner to center to corner. And then when we're finished with that, we're going to cut out the V and then clip the center just like we did the V of the t-shirt itself. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. The stitch has been has been sewn on the V itself. Now I'm going to cut out the V. Oops. There we go. A quick thing about the stitching itself is that all we did was we started at the corner, we went all the way down to the center of the V, and then pivoted the fabric, and then stitched down the other. Now that we've cut out our V here, we're going to, just like we did after we stay stitched the V of the t-shirt, of the neckline, we're going to snip this up to the stitch line, but not through. And so then we would turn it right side out, and we've got this lovely, don't know how well you can see it, this lovely point on our V. The next thing to do with our beautiful neckband is to fold it wrong sides together and to take it over to our iron and press it all the way around. And I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. You can see that I've folded and I have pressed, and I've also moved on to the next step, and that is to pin to quarter the neckband. Oopsies, the neckband. And I also did the neckline of the shirt itself. So I have center front, which is the point of the V, and I have the center back. And notice, just as when we did the crew neck neckband, we quartered the sides as well. And it's noteworthy that the side seams, or not the side seams, but the shoulder seams are not the 1/4 points. Okay, it's exactly the same way as we did the crew neck. So what we'll do is to find that 1/4 point, we've got our front and our back center, and we'll bring them out like this. Okay, then we will bring the front and back center pins together. Okay, and then we'll do this. And so this is where our 1/4 points are, and we will pin those 1/4 points. So it's just really important to remember that the shoulder seams are not the 1/4 points, not the halfway point between the front and the back. Okay, so I've decided to move to my sewing machine to get a bit of a better view for you for this next step. So we have our neckband that has been pressed and quartered. We also have our shirt, the neckline that has been quartered. And the first thing we're going to do now that we have, or the next thing I should say that we're going to do now that we have that done, is we're going to take our neckband. I've got threads here and there. Okay, take our neckband and we're going to line up the point of the band and the point of the V on the neckband itself, or neckline itself. We're going to line those up as best we can to be just, just as precise as we can be. We're going to pin it down in 2 spots, in the center-ish, and then, 1.5 inches or 2 inches up. Now we're going to stitch just inside the 1/4 inch seam allowance, so not more than 1/4 inch, but less than 1/4 inch, from about 1 inch out to very close to the point itself. All right, let's take that pin out. That's one too many pins there. So this is the center of the V for the neckband and the neckline. And so we're going to stitch with a straight stitch from about here to a stitch or so away from the V itself. All right, so let's start, whoopsies. Let's start there. Okay. Here we go. Being sure to backstitch. Bring it in just a little bit more. Take your time. There's no need to be in a hurry. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to hold your presser foot up, keep it up, and we're going to manipulate this piece of the neckband over and pull this piece, or the neckline over, and pull the neck, not really pull, you're just manipulating, so don't stretch it. So you're bringing, see how we're pivoting there? You're bringing the neckband over to the neckline, and you're lining it up as best you can without pulling and stretching. You're just maneuvering is all you're doing. All right, so now we are going to do the exact same thing just under that 1/4 inch seam allowance. For about 1 inch up, give or take. Okay. Okay, so let's get rid of all of our threads here. Okay, so we've done that. The next thing we're going to do, let me bring this over here so maybe you can see it better, is we are going to, oopsies, we're going to line up the remaining pins. So we have our quartered pins. That's what we're talking about here. So here's our neckline. Here's what we just did. Okay, so we've got this 1/4. We're going to 1/4 over here, or we're going to pin over here. Okay, and then let's go to the other side, and let's pin. Sorry, the fabric is slipping on me a little bit on this table. Okay, and then we're going to move to the back piece. And make sure they're right sides together. And hopefully this is all worked out the way we had planned here. Okay, sorry, this fabric keeps falling down. Okay, so we've pinned it all the way around. We've started our V here, which is fantastic, and you can see it's going to turn out to be a really nice V on the front. Now, the next thing you're going to do, like we just did, we're going to align the remainder of the neckband and line it up with the quarters and pin them like we just did. Then we're going to sew using a stretch stitch, not a straight stitch anymore, a stretch stitch, a zigzag stitch, or a serger using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, so I'm going to do that over on my serger, and I will be right back. Okay, so here we are. I've just finished serging this lovely neckband. The only thing left for me to do is to press the seam allowance down and then to top stitch all the way around via a stretch stitch. So I'm going to do that, and I will be right back to show you my finished product. And here we have our completed V-neck t-shirt. It's been top stitched with a stretch stitch, and it's been pressed nicely, and it really has a very nice finished look. The V-neck sometimes does take a little bit of practice, and practice does make perfect, so even I can use some practice. So see you guys later. So we've done it. We've learned all about the knit V-neck neckband. I really hope you had a great time today and you were able to learn what you needed to. And I really, really hope you will join us for the next edition of Sewing School.